welcome to our channel Forensic Genesis. We are back here with another case study, with another case mystery, the Greenlease Kidnapping case. Crime scene: French Institute of Notre Dame de Sion, Kansas City, Missouri. Victim of the case: Bobby Greenlease, age 6 years old, son of multi-millionaire automobile dealer Robert Cosgrove Greenlease Sr. Culprits of the case: Culprit number 1 was Carl Austin Hall and his wife Bonnie Heddy. The incident of the case: at approximately 10:55 am on September 28, 1953, Sister Morand of the French Institute of Notre Dame de Sion, a school for small children in Kansas City, Missouri, answered the door and was confronted by a woman who said she was the aunt of Bobby Greenlease. The woman informed Sister Morand that Bobby's mother had just suffered a heart attack and had been taken to St. Mary's Hospital. Upon getting Bobby, Sister Moran told him that an aunt had called at the school for him. But she did not tell Bobby that his mother had suffered a heart attack. At approximately 11:30 am same day, Sister Marthna of the school called the Greenlease home to inquire about Mrs. Greenlease's condition. She spoke to Mrs. Greenlease and at that time learned that the story told by the woman who called for Bobby was false. Mrs. Greenlease immediately called her husband, who rushed home and after hearing the story of what happened, notified the chief of police in Kansas City, who in turn reported the matter to FBI. Williard Pearson Preach, cab driver of Todman Cab Company in Kansas City, told authorities that shortly before 11 am on September 28, 1953, a woman whose description fit that of the woman who called at the school entered the cab and requested him to drive her to the school of Notre Dame de Sion. Upon arriving at the school, she told Creech to wait her because she desired to be driven to Katz Drug Store at Westport and Main Street in Kansas City. In approximately 6 minutes, the woman re-entered the cab, accompanied by a small boy fitting the description of Bobby Greenlease. A few hours after the kidnapping, Greenleases received the first ransom letter concerning the return of their son. The first letter, mailed special delivery and postmarked 6 p.m. on September 28, 1953, demanded $6 lakh in $20 and $10 bills be placed in duffel bag. The kidnappers promised Bobby's safe return in 24 hours. The second ransom letter was postmarked 9:30 p.m. on September 29, 1953. Inside the envelope which this letter was mailed was the Jerusalem medal, which had been worn by Bobby Greenlease. The letter again contained demands of $6 lakh and stated that Bobby was okay, but homesick. Overall, the Greenlease received over a half dozen of ransom notes and 15 telephone calls. The final communication between the Greenlease and kidnappers was a telephone call received at 1 am on October 5, 1953, at the Greenlease residence. The kidnappers stated that they had received the $6 lakh ransom money and assured the Greenleases that their son was alive and that he would be returned in 24 hours. Unknown to the family, the kidnappers Carl Hall and Bonnie Heddy had killed the boy soon after the abduction and buried their body near Heddy's house in St. Joseph, Missouri. On October 5, 1953, Hall purchased 2 metal suitcases and transferred the money On October 6, 1953, Hall purchased two large garbage cans and a shovel, placed them in a rented car, and drove to Merrimack River in St. Louis County, where he intended to bury ransom money. However, he could not find a suitable place. He left the cans in a deserted clubhouse and drove back to Coros Courts Motel, where he was staying. A telephone call was received at 11th District St. Louis Police Department around 3:30 p.m. on October 6, 1953, from John Oliver Hager, a driver of the Ace Cab Company in St. Louis. His information led to the arrest of Carl Austin Hall by the officers of St. Louis Police Department. Hall was interrogated by the FBI agents and other law enforcement agencies several times after his arrest. He also admitted picking up the ransom money, but denied that he killed the victim. The dead body. The boy's body was found by FBI agents at 8:40 am, October 7, 1953, buried near the porch of the Heddy residence at 1201 South 38th Street in St. Joseph, Missouri. The body had been wrapped in a plastic bag, and a large quantity of lime had been poured over this bag. The Greenlease family dentist identified the body as that Bobby Greenlease at 1 p.m. on October 7, 1953. Forensic evidence. Blood stains were found on the basement floor and steps in Hardy residence and footmarks of car. Some 0.38 caliber shell casings were also found in the house. These shell casings were examined by FBI laboratory and it was found that they had been fired from a 0.38 caliber snub-nose Smith & Wesson revolver in Hall's possession at the time of his arrest. The FBI laboratory also ascertained that the bullet recovered from the rubber floor mat in the Plymouth station wagon owned by Bonnie Heddy was also fired from Hall's 0.38 caliber revolver. The verdict. On October 30, 1953, Carl Hall and Bonnie Heddy appeared before Judge Albert L. Reeves in federal court in Kansas City, Missouri, at which time they entered pleas of guilty to the indictment. On November 19, 1953, after hearing the evidence, a jury in the federal court in Kansas City, Missouri, recommended the death penalty after only an hour and 8 minutes of deliberations. 15 minutes after the verdict was announced, Judge Reeves sentenced both of them to be executed on December 18, 1953. Judge Reeves said, "I think the verdict fits the evidence. It is the most cold-blooded, brutal murder I have ever tried." References. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe and press the bell icon for our latest videos.